I've been waiting roughly around 3 years for this game. My journey with Fate started as a love at first sight. I was in my horror games mood once again, and as a recommendation of my friend, I checked what Fate was back then. Back then, Fate could be played as a demo, as first chapter was completed, second and the third chapter as on progress. From its 8-bit horror visuals to curse voice acting, main character defending himself only with his cross to references of the Exorcist. Best way to describe my feelings were Mortis. Hello everyone, it's Arcadenaut here, and today I'm here with another Halloween special video. Be sure to check out my previous Halloween special video if you haven't. Also known as Fate the Unholy Trinity is released on Steam on 22nd of October with a price tag of $15 US. It's a must play for any horror games fans, or if you are searching for a new way to prepare yourself for any horror title. Fate the Unholy Trinity will prepare you, amaze you, and will stuck with you for an eternity. God bless the developer Airdorf Games, and God bless its publisher, New Blood Interactive.
I have to finish what I started.
It's September 21st, 1987. A young priest named John is going back to a rural house to finish what he has started a year ago. He feels haunted, he feels cursed. The first chapter is the start of John's never-ending nightmares and his fight against a satanic cult. Right from the start, you would feel like you are playing an NES game from the 80s. From trees to houses, streets, and even the enemies, everything is in 8-bit style. There is no inventory, no health points, no indications on where to go. It's just John, his unshaken faith, and his cross. I think the first chapter was completed when I last played Fate on my live stream, so I knew what I should do. I discovered around the map, found the key, and head into the cursed home where the threat was waiting for me and John. There are threats and dangers in every map and every corner, and only way to protect yourself is your cross. Each and every cutscene, or sometimes even the dangers, are handmade authentic 8-bit computer graphics that makes Fate quite unique and memorable. Once you head inside, that's where the satanic scare horror ambience begins. Damn, I don't even know what I should talk about or not, since I don't want to spoil anything for you guys here. There is no cheap jump scares from chapter 1 to chapter 3, since some of you might want to know. There is no screamers that would catch you off guard. It is just quality satanic horror and thrilling atmosphere, memorable music, and events that make Fate the Unholy Trinity remarkable. Just like Priest John Ward, you are only vulnerable as long as your faith wavers. My whole Fate the Unholy Trinity journey took around 6 hours. However, since I played the demo versions like 2 to 3 times already, your gameplay time might be longer. You might be lost within the dark corridors, crypts of unknown threats, or struggle against a boss fight. Fate does have boss fights, and it can be summarized as like a platforming, holding your cross to attack kind of type if Vatican approves it. John cannot sprint or jump or do acrobatic stuff, so whole boss fights lean on where you position yourself, how much you remain calm, and for how long you can remain patient and hold on to your fate. Starting as a satanic scare movies of 80s and mainly inspired by Exorcist, Fate evolves more into psychological horrors and nightmares that John begins to see. Lovecraftian touches that can be felt while looking for answers to a satanic cult that's been spread around that region by a person called Gary. Gary loves you, and he expects you to join him. All of these touches on story progression that starts with the Exorcist turns quickly into a Silent Hill-like cultists and psychological horror that is blended with Lovecraftian unknowns. The first chapter can feel a bit slow on the progress, and I totally get that. However, there are documents to collect that reveals much about John, his journey to that same rural house 1 year ago of Fate's events, the satanic cult, and of course, Gary. Gary loves you.
Afraid, cause we're 2 or 3 are custody, put them, there will be.
Besides that, each chapter has multiple endings, namely the first chapter has 5, and both chapter 2 and chapter 3 has 3 different endings depending on how you play and how much you discover throughout your journey. The endings of chapter 1 can be easily accessible, however for second and third chapter, John needs to live through the nightmare once again. As for replayability, all I can say is I literally play this game from start to finish once or sometimes twice a year, and I'm totally happy with it. I might go for marathon mode, which lets you play from first chapter to the end of chapter 3 with all secret bosses confronted and achieve any achievements that are left in my roster. Fate is thrilling, sometimes disturbing and challenging, but it is remarkable and fresh. Last but not least, Moonlight Sonata of Ludwig van Beethoven and Eric Satie's composition create an unforgettable, yet again cursed ambience within Fate. It might be just me, but I felt alone, I felt being watched and lost while I was trying to find more clues about the cult and trying to say who John held dear. From the very first chapter to the last, even the soundtracks of Fate are remarkable and effective to create an unforgettable journey. With all things said, Fate is highly recommended to both horror game veterans and even to newcomers to this genre. Mark my words, there is no cheap jump scares or screamers, but just uniquely crafted animations and distorted voices of threats that will stick with you forever. Probably my only critique will be the unfairness of some checkpoints by the chapter 3, and replaying some of the sections without a sprint function might bore and frustrate some of the players, I might say. Other than that, Fate is a blessed horror title, it is approved by Vatican, and probably one of the best games to enjoy during the Halloween.
It's